And actually, I think what I'll do, because I know there were some of you who didn't know how to do this for even like 1 or 2, the easier ones. So I'm going to go through one of the easier ones first, and then I'll show you how it gets to be a little bit different down here where you have the 2 variables. So let's say I'm looking at number 1, and I want to put this in standard form. Standard form means what order? Okay, so the exponents are going to be biggest to smallest. Yep. So for part A, biggest to smallest exponent, I would start with the 3, so that would be 5x cubed, and then minus 2x squared minus 1. That's standard form. The degree is just the largest exponent in the problem. What's the largest exponent? The 3. Yep. So my degree is 3. The leading coefficient is different from the degree. The leading coefficient is the coefficient on the first term once you have it in standard form. So here my leading coefficient would be the 5. It's just the number in front. Okay? And then D says identify the number of terms. How many terms do I have here? 3. And so what would I call this with 3 terms? A trinomial, yep. Okay, that process makes sense? Okay, so now let's look at number 3. Number 3, the difference is there's not just one exponent in each piece, there's 2. Anyone remember what I need to do with those exponents in each piece? I have to add them together, yep. So this one would really be a degree of 6. This would be a degree of 4. This would be a degree of what? 5, because that A really has a 1 on it. And then this would be a 7. And so I'm going to put them in order according to that, okay, according to those total degrees. So I'm going to start with this one. 5a to the 4th, b to the 3rd. And then I'm going to go to this one. 7a to the 4th, b squared, minus 6ab to the 4th, and then minus 2a squared b squared. Okay, so that's standard form when you've got more than one exponent. Okay, as you combine the exponents in each term to get the total. Okay. B, for the degree. Oh, Cam?
How is it like the 6ab4
Yep.
come before the 2a squared?
Okay, because I am looking at the total. So the total degree here is a 5. So 4 and 1 makes 5. This total degree is 4. Okay? Now, we talked about another way of doing standard form with 2 variables. Mostly we talked about that way because we hadn't talked about adding them together yet. But you might be looking at it as I'm just looking at the A's and putting the A's in order. I would actually accept that answer as well. Okay, so if you had flip-flopped these 2 and then said, well, it's because this A is bigger than this A, I would take that. Okay, but typically standard form is based on the total degree. Okay? Okay, so what is the overall degree of this whole problem? It's the biggest total. Yeah, so my degree would be this 7. Okay, it's always the biggest one. Okay? C, the leading coefficient, would be 5. And then D, how many terms does this have? 4. And we don't have fancy names for these beyond 3. We have monomial, binomial, trinomial. And beyond trinomial, we just call them all polynomials. Okay? Does that make sense for that one? Okay. Let's go down to 4 and 5 because I got a lot of questions on those too. Okay. Write an expression for the area and the perimeter. How do you find perimeter of a rectangle? Yeah, add up all the sides, right? For anything where you're finding perimeter, you're just adding up all the sides. So for this one, for perimeter, I'm going to add this and this, but then I have to remember to fill in these sides as well. Okay, so I would say 3x squared plus 2x minus 1 plus x squared plus 5 plus 3x squared plus 2x minus 1 plus x squared plus 5. Okay, so I added up all four sides, and then what I need to do is combine my like terms. Now what you have to be careful of with combining like terms is when you're adding things together, the exponent should not be changing. So like, what's 3x squared plus 3x squared? 6x squared. That stays an x squared. And then I also have a 1x squared and a 1x squared, so altogether that's 3 plus 1 plus 3 plus 1 is 8. My x's, I have 2x and 2x, which is 4x. And then I have -1 and 5, -1 and 5. Okay? There's your perimeter, your expression for your perimeter. Leisha, will you put that away, please? Thank you. Should be going over your test review with us. Okay, now let's talk area. Area is different. How do you find area of a rectangle? Length times width, yeah. So I'm just multiplying this times this. So 3x squared plus 2x minus 1 times x squared plus 5. That's how we do area of a rectangle. And then I'm going to multiply. So 3x squared times x squared. Now your exponents are going to change. What's 3x squared times x squared? 3x to the 4th. 3x squared times 5 is going to be 15x squared. Then I'm going to go to the 2x. 2x times x squared is 2x cubed. 2x times 5 is 10x. -1 times x squared is -x squared. And -1 times 5 is -5. Everyone okay with how I multiplied that all out? A good way to check at this point would be to say to yourself, all right, I multiplied 3 pieces here by 2 pieces here. So 3 by 2, that should be 6 pieces total. And then I'm going to just combine my like terms. So I only have the 3x to the 4th. My x cubed, I have a 2x cubed. I have a 15x squared and a minus 1x squared, so that's going to be 14x squared. And then plus a 10x, and then minus a 5. And that's your total area. That's your expression for area. Okay, so perimeter is all addition. Area is multiplication. Okay? Questions on that? Okay. Now let's look at the triangle, because the triangle works a little differently. Perimeter is not really going to work any differently. How do you find perimeter of anything?
Add them all up.
Add them all up. Yep. So to do perimeter here, I'm going to do y squared plus 4y minus 5. That's this one. Plus y squared plus 2y. Plus y squared minus 6y. Okay, so perimeter of anything is just adding up the sides. All right, let's look at like terms. Y squared, y squared, y squared. What do you get when you add those together? 3y squared, good. Okay, now I have 4y, 2y, and -6y. Right, because that equals 0, right? 4 plus 2 plus -6 is 0. So 0y, your y's are canceled out. And then minus 5 is going to be here. 3y squared minus 5 for your perimeter. Okay. Now let's talk area. How do I find area of a triangle? Not quite. Okay, so it's base times height, but then we have to divide by 2 or multiply by 1/2. The formula is 1/2 times base times height. Okay, so for area, I'm not using this piece at all. I did need that piece for perimeter, but for area, I'm just using base and height. So I'm going to do 1/2 times that first one, y squared plus 4y minus 5, times y squared minus 6y. Okay. What I would do with this one, I know you're going to be tempted to deal with that 1/2 first because it's sitting there in front, but I would actually deal with your parentheses first. Okay? So y squared times y squared. Let's see, I'm going to leave the area equals 1/2. What is y squared times y squared? Y to the fourth. Y squared times negative 6y is negative 6y to the third. 4y times y squared is 4y to the third. 4y times negative 6y is negative 24y squared. Negative 5 times y squared is negative 5y squared. And negative 5 times negative 6y is 30y. Okay. So I just multiplied the parentheses. I'm going to go ahead and clean it up. I'm going to put together the things that go together. So 1/2, and then I've got a y to the fourth. I'm going to put together my y cubed, so minus 2y cubed. Put together my y squareds, minus 29y squared, and then plus 30y. And now what do I do? Okay, I'm going to multiply everything through by 1/2. What happens when I multiply 1/2 times y to the fourth?
Nothing. Yeah, something happens.
Okay, depends by what you mean by nothing, but I'm inclined to agree with you. 1/2 times y to the fourth, the 1/2 and the 4 do not combine at all. Okay? It just becomes 1/2 y to the fourth. Okay, I have a lot of people who want to try to make that like y squared. 1/2 times y to the fourth, you just stick the 1/2 in front. Just like if I was asking you to do 5 times x squared, it would just be 5x squared. Okay? 1/2 y to the fourth. What about 1/2 times 2?
1.
That'd be 1. 1/2 times 29 would be 14.5. And 1/2 times 30 would be 15. And there's your area of your triangle right there. Okay? Questions on that before we move to the next page?